Welcome back to another epic explainer. Today, we're jumping straight into the sun-baked dunes of the desert for a high-stakes adventure featuring the Israelites and Moses. This isn't just dusty history, you guys. We're talking about a thrilling quest filled with danger, mystery, and an absolutely incredible secret about true friendship. We're going to explore a monumental moment from Exodus chapter 33, where the Israelites face a tough choice that will literally change their destiny forever.
Okay, let's dive into this. Before we hit the ancient sands, I want you to imagine a giant scale. On one side, you're offered every single toy, video game, and treat you could ever possibly want, a literal land of endless fun. But there's a huge catch. On the other side, if you take all that stuff, your absolute best friend in the whole wide world cannot go with you. Which would you choose? Would you take the stuff, or would you take the friend? Keep that tough choice in your mind, because that is exactly the amazing dilemma our heroes are about to face. Section 1, Bad News in the Desert. So our story picks up with the Israelites camping in the wilderness. God had promised them a lush, beautiful land flowing with milk and honey, but then he drops a massive plot twist. He says, I myself will not go with you. Now, why wouldn't God go with them? Well, God actually called the Israelites stiff-necked. Imagine a stubborn donkey that just locks its knees, stiffens its neck, and completely refuses to move no matter how hard you pull. That's what it means to be stiff-necked. God was basically saying the people were being so stubborn and refusing to listen that if his pure, infinite holiness traveled directly in the middle of their camp, he might actually end up destroying them along the way. Now, what's really interesting about this is the incredible contrast. On one hand, you've got the promised land, bursting with milk and honey, endless provision, and safety. But on the other hand, you have God's actual personal companionship. The Israelites were being offered everything they'd ever dreamed of having, but totally without the presence of the one who promised it to them in the first place. Section 2. Removing the shiny ornaments. A time to mourn. Look, when the Israelites heard this terrible news, they definitely didn't throw a party just because they were getting the promised land. Actually, they went into deep mourning. They realized that all the milk and honey in the world was completely worthless if they lost their relationship with their Creator. So God told them to take off their ornaments. From Mount Horeb onward, the people stripped themselves of their shiny, fancy Egyptian necklaces and heavy golden bracelets. And this wasn't just some fashion choice. This was them showing true repentance. They were saying sorry from the absolute bottom of their hearts, humbling themselves, and stripping away all those prideful worldly distractions. Section 3. The special tent of meeting, outside the camp. Because God's presence couldn't just sit right in the middle of the camp anymore, Moses did something really special. He took a tent and pitched it far, far outside the main camp. Anyone who wanted to genuinely seek Adonai had to walk all the way out to this quiet place. And whenever Moses went out there, the most jaw-dropping thing would happen. First, Moses walks out, and every single person in the camp stands at their own tent door, watching him with total respect. Then, as Moses enters, a massive, giant column of glowing cloud descends from the heavens and stations itself right at the entrance. The people are so filled with awe that they literally bow down right where they are. Meanwhile, inside the tent, Moses is talking with God, and his young assistant, Joshua, stays behind, totally captivated by it all. And check out this magnificent promise. Adonai would speak to Moshe face to face as a man speaks to his friend. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? The creator of the entire universe didn't just want to hand out a list of boring rules from far away. He wanted deep, true relational intimacy. He wanted a best friend. Section 4. A promise to stay. Finding favor. So the crucial point here is that Moses steps up. He knows he has this special friendship with God, so he negotiates for the people, saying, if I have found favor in your sight, please show me your ways. God answers and says, my presence will go with you. But Moses, he wants to be absolutely sure. He declares, if your presence doesn't go with us, don't make us go on from here. Moses gets it. He completely understands the concept of presence over provision. He knows for sure that being successful or having a rich land means absolutely zero if God isn't right beside them. Because Moses found favor, God agrees to do exactly what he asked. Section 5. Hiding in the rock. Show me your glory. Now that Moses knows God is staying with them, he gets super bold, like amazingly bold. He asks for the biggest, most impossible thing a human being could ever ask for. He wants to see the unfiltered reality of the divine. He cries out, I beg you to show me your glory. But God tells him, no human can see my face and live. And this teaches us a huge lesson about human limitations. God is so infinitely good, so perfectly holy, and so wonderfully powerful that our physical human bodies are literally too small to handle looking directly at his full face. It would be like trying to stare at a billion suns all at once.
Let's see how this builds, because to protect his friend, God comes up with a truly spectacular, thrilling plan. First, God tells Moses to stand on a solid rock near him. Then, as God's immense glory passes by, he will tuck Moses safely inside a deep crevice in that rock. Third, God will actually cover Moses with his own hand to shield him. And finally, only after he has safely passed by will God remove his hand so Moses can see his back. Moses gets to experience the incredible goodness and mercy of God, all while being safely protected from the overwhelming power of his face.
Section 6. The Ultimate Story Lessons. Hidden Treasures. What a breathtaking adventure, right? From the heartbreak of almost losing God's presence, to the bravery of stripping away pride, to hiding in the clefts of a rock while the glory of the universe walks by. And this brilliantly illustrates 4 massive takeaways for us. First, presence over provision. Having God with us is infinitely better than having all the stuff in the world. Second, true repentance. Saying sorry actually means letting go of our pride and stubbornness. Third, relational intimacy. God doesn't just want rule followers, he wants face-to-face friends. And fourth, human limitations. God is way bigger and more awe-inspiring than our human minds can fully comprehend, and we've got to approach him with wonder and respect.
So, I want to leave you with one really big question to think about today. Just like Moses pitched his tent way outside the camp to spend time with his best friend, how will you seek true friendship with the divine today? What shiny distractions might you need to take off? And what quiet place can you find to talk face-to-face with the one who made you? Thanks so much for hanging out with me on this spectacular desert explainer. If you had fun uncovering these amazing secrets and want to come along on our next high-energy adventure, you know exactly what to do. Click the bell button, like, share, and subscribe. Keep exploring, keep learning, and I'll see you next time.